Have I got exciting news for you? Recently, plans have been found on Lichfield Council's website sharing information about the Looping Group's 5-year plan for Drayton Manor Park. This document contains info about new rides and so much more right through until 2026. I'm going to share all of this info with you, plus so much more in this jam-packed news update from Drayton Manor Park. Now, with all that said, let's see what's potentially coming to Drayton Manor in the next few years. So before I share the plans with you, I just want to say this is publicly available information. I haven't hacked into Drayton Manor's database or anything like that. It's available on Lichfield Council's website, and with a bit of a digging, you can find this document. Alongside that, this isn't anything confirmed. Plans can change. This was submitted back in 2021, well, August of 2021. And of course, the Looping Group's plans could have changed since then. However, this will give us a good outline of what's to come in Drayton Manor in the next few years. With all that said, let's delve in to this very exciting document. So the first year on these documents is 2022. Now you're probably thinking, why am I going to talk about this year when it's already passed? Well, talking about this year and seeing what they wrote down on this document is going to give us a good idea on whether these plans were actually implemented into the park. So the first thing it says, finish the Adventure Cove theming. We saw that happen, of course. It says introduce a new themed area, of course, which we found out later was the Vikings, with 3 new rides and the rejuvenation of the Buffalo Coaster. New themed rooms in the Drayton Manor Hotel. We saw that happen with the Vikings rooms being in there, encouraging more families to visit the Drayton Manor Park. And there's a few other things on the documents that we can't confirm whether happened or not, like the EDE kitchen to have a refit. I don't know whether that happens. I'm not really a kitchen enthusiast at Drayton Manor. However, from looking at this document, it looks like they've implemented most of the things they said they were going to do. Of course, with the Adventure Cove, the new area. So this looks like a pretty trustworthy document. Anyway, let's move on to 2023. So looking at the 2023 plans, the first bullet point is a new replacement vehicle on an existing ride within Drayton Manor Park. Now this is a pretty big bullet point here. There's 4 different coasters at Drayton Manor, including the Buffalo, previously known as Jormungandr, Exhilarator, Troublesome Trucks over in Thomasland, and Shockwave. Now Accelerator, Jormungandr, and also Troublesome Trucks, I can't see them getting a new train. Buffalo Coaster, now known as Jormungandr, already had its refurbishment back in 2021/2022 time when it was incorporated into the Vikings area. Accelerator, which opened back in 2011, it looks like a pretty new coaster. I can't see them replacing the train on that. Troublesome Trucks over in Thomasland, I really can't see them replacing the train on that. So that leaves Shockwave. Shockwave opened back in 1994 alongside the Big One and also Nemesis. Now talking about the Big One and Nemesis, they're receiving a lot of extensive refurbishment work at the minute, and Shockwave hasn't really seen that TLC that it deserves. Of course, the station got repainted and incorporated into Adventure Cove in 2021, and that just leaves the main coaster itself. Shockwave is the only stand-up roller coaster in the UK and is a really unique ride. Now, if it is Shockwave getting a replacement vehicle, then could this mean that Shockwave loses its stand-up element? We know that Drayton Manor are targeting families now. They're no longer targeting thrill seekers, and they're not trying to hide that with their updated logo and all their recent investments. So could this mean, as I said, Shockwave gets sit-down trains? Now this seems like a viable thing for Drayton Manor to do, because with their target market being families, Shockwave is quite a big ride to have at Drayton Manor. It includes 4 inversions, including a 0G roll, and yeah, it can be quite intimidating standing up on a roller coaster. So I really think we could see sit-down trains brought in, and I've said this in all my Drayton Manor vlogs. Hopefully we can get 2 trains on Shockwave. The queue really builds up on busy days, so I'm hoping 2 trains on Shockwave. Whether they're stand up, whether they're sit down, I don't really mind. However, I think sit down trains would make sense for the park. However, they're going to lose that title of being the only stand-up coaster in the UK. There will then be 0, and I think it's a really unique element to have on the ride. And of course, the other coasters opening in 1994 is Nemesis and the Big One. Of course, Shockwave opened alongside them in 1994. Nemesis and Big One are getting extensive refurbishments now. Of course, Shockwave sort of got a refurbishment in 2021 with Adventure Cove. It had a station repaint. However, nothing has been done to the actual ride system, and some of it is looking a little bit tired now. So hopefully I'd like to see a whole repaint of Shockwave and also new vehicles. I think this is a viable thing for Drayton Manor and the Looping Group to do. I'd understand if they brought in sit-down trains. However, I would like them to see maybe repair the stand-up train or get a new stand-up train. I think that'd be a really good thing for the park to do. However, we don't even know if it's Shockwave getting a replacement train. Maybe the Buffalo Coaster or Troublesome Trucks is getting a replacement train. We're not too sure. However, this is what the plans state for 2023. Talking of 2023, there's two other things that Drayton Manor Park also want to do. They want to add a new children's ride. That's literally what it says, a new children's ride. Very brief, where's it going? We're not too sure. Manufacturer, what is it going to be? I reckon, my personal thought, this is probably going to go somewhere in Thomasland. It'd be nice to see some investment into that area of the park. In terms of the actual ride, I have absolutely no idea. Various projects within Drayton Manor Zoo to redevelop existing enclosures. Drayton Manor Zoo is a brilliant part of the park to have. It's always nice to have a zoo in a theme park, and I think that it's a great zoo. However, there does need to be some refurbishment in areas, and it's nice to see on these plans that Drayton Manor are willing to invest into it, and hopefully they can do something about that in Tiger's enclosure, as I do think it does need a little bit of work. However, it's good to see Looping Group are willing to put that work in. Next up, it's time for 2024, and this is going to be a big year for the park. Moving on to 2024, and this is going to be a big year for the park. The first bullet point literally says, a new roller coaster within Drayton Manor. Now this is what we've all been wanting to see. It's been forever since Drayton Manor have had a new roller coaster, and 2024, according to the documents, is going to be the year. Apocalypse and Pandemonium have been removed these past few years, and that's freed up a lot of space towards that end of the park. So I think we're going to be seeing a family thrill coaster at that end of the park, and I'm very excited for it. So what sort of coaster will this be, and who will manufacture it? It's a good question, however, the documents are really brief. However, in the next few minutes, I'll explain my thoughts on what I'd like to see in the area. Of course, I'd like to see a family thrill coaster. I previously said a 4D spinner, however, I think that the park wouldn't go down this route. Potentially a Vekoma Rides family coaster would be pretty cool to see in the area. A suspended family coaster by Vekoma would be nice to see. Potentially Marathon spinning coaster would be pretty good at Drayton Manor. I've said I've always wanted to see one of those at the park. But this is going to be family thrill. I wouldn't be expecting, you know, the most thrilling 14 inversion roller coaster in this area, the Smiler, at Drayton Manor. This is going to be family thrill. We know they're the family park now. They're not trying to beat Alton Towers or Thor Park or anything. They've got their own little niche, their own little family market that they're targeting, and I'm very excited to see what sort of roller coaster this will be in 2024. Could we see a junior launch coaster potentially in the area? That'd be pretty cool to see a launch coaster at Drayton Manor. However, I'm very excited, and hopefully this all goes ahead in 2024. The next bullet point says a replacement ride within Drayton Manor Park. I'm not too sure what to sort of take from this. Is this taking out a ride within Drayton Manor and replacing it with a new one? I'm not too sure about that point, so I'm not really going to expand on it. It also says replacement cars on an existing ride within Drayton Manor Park. Once again, this confuses me because in 2023 they said they were going to do a replacement vehicle on a roller coaster within Drayton Manor. However, this says replacement cars on an existing ride, so I'm not too sure what to infer from this. Could this be, I don't know, new cars on the Dodgems at Drayton Manor? I'm not too sure what to sort of takes from that. So I'll leave that to you down in the comment section down below. What do you think that these two bullet points could mean? And the last bullet point is a raised walkway between Thomasland along the railway tracks connecting to Drayton Manor Zoo. Now this would be pretty handy to have a sort of walkway from Thomasland to Drayton Manor Zoo. That'd be quite cool for families instead of walking all the way around in the middle of the park, just to go from Thomasland straight to the zoo. Quite a practical feature there from Drayton Manor. So 2024 is going to be a big year for the park with a new roller coaster, replacement rides within Drayton Manor, and also replacement cars on an existing ride. Of course, take this with a pinch of salt. These were posted back in 2021. Plans are always changing at theme parks, so don't run away saying Drayton Manor are definitely getting a new roller coaster in 2024. It definitely looks likely, however, it hasn't been confirmed by the park just yet. Next up, it's time to look at what's happening in 2025. So 2025 is not looking to be a huge year for the park. The plans that are in this document say relocate a ride within Drayton Manor Park and introduce a new round platform ride to the vacated spot. Now this really did get me thinking. So it's basically saying take a ride from its spot and put it somewhere else in the park and introduce a new ride to the previous spot of that ride that you've already moved. So this really did get me thinking, what ride would they replace and take out? Now I was thinking maybe Drunken Barrels potentially could be taken out, put somewhere else in the park, and a ride replace it. I mean, there's not really many rides that I think could really replace something. Potentially Air Race over in Maelstrom, but where else would they put that in the park? If it's perfectly in Adventure Cove. Maelstrom, if it's perfectly in Adventure Cove once again, so I don't see why they'd take that out. However, take this with a pinch of salt once again. What do you think this could mean? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Next up though, it's time to move on to the final year, 2026. So 2026, not looking to be a huge year at the park. It simply says to install holiday lodges originally proposed in 2016 to the southwest of the Drayton Manor Hotel. Now it'd be really cool to see lodges at Drayton Manor Park because they've only really got the hotel, which might I add is absolutely stunning on the outside and also on the inside. And of course, comparing that to Alton Towers have got 3 different hotels with stargazing pods among much more accommodation. So it's good to see Drayton Manor expanding their accommodation lineup, and I'd be excited to see lodges. I feel like at the minute, lodges and stargazing pods are really the trend that theme parks are jumping onto, and it's really good to see Drayton Manor add this. So there we go, that is Drayton Manor's 5-year plan. Now I'm going to repeat this again. Take everything in this video with a pinch of salt. This is a document that was uploaded back in 2021, and it's hard to predict what's going to happen in 2026. Plans are always changing, as I said earlier, but this gives us a good insight in what the Looping Group wants to do with Drayton Manor Park. Next year is not going to be a huge year, no big new rides. However, 2024 is looking like a real good year for Drayton Manor Park. What would you like to see at Drayton Manor Park? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you would like to find this planning document for yourself, then it's available on Lichfield Council's website. However, you're going to have to put some real time in finding it because Lichfield Council's website is literally a gold mine. It's really hard to find this document. So if you do want to find it, then good luck, dedicate a few hours of your life and you will find it. With all that said, if you did enjoy the video, do consider subscribing as I make theme park content every week for you to enjoy. And with all that said, I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.